Welcome everyone. This is Rafael Hernandez, and you are listening to the 117 podcast. So, after a month of being off, I am finally back, and I want to apologize because I have had a lot of in my plate in the business side of things. I'm working on a very exciting project that I hope to be presenting it to everyone until the end of March, and by all means, please look forward to it. It's something very different. It's something that I had never tried. It's not related to me. It's actually, if I want to give you a sneak peek, it's basically a charitable organization, and I really want to do something meaningful for the world. So please look forward to it. If you want to listen to me more frequently, I have started to use Clubhouse, and I want to speak on Clubhouse at least once per day, but I'm not going to make any promises now. But I will try. And honestly, the application is very practical. I know that the invite only system is a bit of a pain, but it's necessary for them. They're only at the beginning, and we can clearly see that the developers didn't expect the application to be such a success. But I'm happy that it did because it's such an amazing place to just have a chat room and talk with everyone without any complications. And what I want to do with the podcast in the coming weeks is record a single podcast to talk Barcelona per week, and another podcast weekly to talk football in general. So, like Manchester City's 20 wins and how Chelsea is doing with Tuchel, this kind of thing. So, okay. Aside from this, if you are a sound editor and you're listening to this, please reach out to me. I'm looking for a new editor. You're very welcome to try. So, okay, guys, let's get to the meaty part of things. So, Bartomeu has been arrested, and let's just say it was an amazing way to begin the week. I think that it's the most that I've celebrated anything Barcelona since that Messi free kick against Liverpool, and man, I really celebrated that goal. So, aside from that, I'm sure that most of you that are listening to me celebrated just as much. I would say that social media is in complete uproar, and when I say uproar, I mean everyone is really happy with this. I don't think that Bartomeu has any more allies that doesn't include the usual suspects, the sellouts on social media, and of course the bots too. So for those that don't, I want to make a recap of the Barca Gate incident first to for everyone to recall it. So what happened is in the middle of last year there was a leak that was given to a Spanish radio station, and this radio station leaked that basically made a report that Barcelona actually paid a company called I3 Ventures, located in Uruguay, to smear Barcelona's political opponents and even some of the footballers at the club. And when I mean Barcelona's enemies, I mean Bartomeu's enemies. Basically, the man, he actually paid a company to attack its own players. And even Messi's wife was attacked. And this is the level that things have gotten. It was one of the most surreal days of 2020 as a Barcelona fan, and boy, we had many. So basically that was it. But of course, the club rushed to deny the reports, as they always do. And of course, the Spanish radio station actually had a lot more information, and quickly it turned into a criminal case. And I'm not sure it's a crime to pay a company to attack your enemies on social media. I think that it might become a crime in the future, but it's not, at least not yet. Maybe a crime of honor, but there's no specific laws to actually cover this by now. And the The Catalan police saw the reports and started to launch an investigation. This led many Barcelona board members to resign, and the pressure on Bartomeu was piling up. And of course, we know that he resigned in the end, but that was too late. The police started the investigation. They were actually seeking to find evidence of corruption and money laundering. So, why money laundering? For the situation is as this: this I3 company is supposedly located in Uruguay, and Bartomeu actually paid them in 5 installments of 200,000 euros. And why did he do it like this? Basically, to avoid for the Barcelona board to give approval to the whole thing. So if you pass a certain threshold of value, the of money to be paid, the Barcelona board, according to the club's rules, have to vote on it to approve it or not. And basically, he did it in a way that they didn't had to approve it, and this is really suspicious. And we even had claims today from Jordi Martínez, who is a good journalist, that the police suspects that this money that was supposedly paid to I3 Ventures was actually might have been paid to some of the board members too, which led to these investigations. So it's a very strong accusations, and I don't think that the four that were jailed today, it was Bartomeu, Masferrer, the CEO Oscar Grau, and the guy responsible for the judicial services of the club. So basically, these four people are going to be brought. They were arrested and brought to the police station. They're likely to give some kind of testimony and freed, but we don't have that clear yet. It might be deeper than that. If these people actually are kept in jail, it's because the police thinks that they could actually hide evidence, and we know that this is beyond the Bartomeu and the Barcelona board. So I would say that their worries are justified. And the biggest news of all, okay, of course we all want to see Bartomeu punished, but the biggest news of today was that these people are not going to be able to adulterate, to rig the elections. As I had feared, it was my final worry about the elections, that the people in power could move in some way to actually try to mess with the final results, and put someone that is more allied with them. And I don't think that's going to happen anymore, because it's gotten to the point where former Barcelona members have been arrested by the police, and if Tusquets and other people inside Barcelona were thinking of doing something funny, they certainly aren't anymore. And this is really a relief, because I said it many times on social media that if Toni Freixa was elected, I was going to simply stop following the club and move on to something else. And of course, most of you must be thinking, okay, so you're going to start supporting Manchester City? Absolutely not. If I were to give up on Barcelona because there is no more hope for the club, I would simply move on from football altogether. I couldn't be disloyal with the club of my life. Absolutely not. And speaking of Freixa, honestly, the guy is a disgrace. He has me blocked on social media for a long time by now, and he is using bots on social media to actually swing the polls by the radios and uh, other media outlets to his favor. So it's really funny to see the guy doesn't have any kind of shot at winning the elections. And the funniest thing of all was seeing this guy actually come out and tweet today that everyone is against Barcelona. He's together with Bartomeu, and he actually tweeted, "You'll never walk alone." So yeah, I think he didn't really think this through, because if you think about it, "You never walk alone" is Liverpool's basically slogan. And okay, the guys kind of trashed us, and it was one of the most embarrassing defeats in our club. So it kind of fits Freixa. He's a complete mess. It's really embarrassing. So that's that's really what you're getting from me when it comes to Bartomeu and Barcelona and these arrests. I really want to move on from this and look towards the future. And this is where I begin to speak about the Barcelona elections. Guys, Laporta will be the next Barcelona president. I am absolutely 100% sure of that. There's no way that he is going to lose this, and it's a big relief for me because, as everyone knows, I have been very supportive of Victor Font. I met Victor over 6 years ago, and he has wonderful ideas for the club. He has good intentions. He's a great man, but unfortunately, some of the positions that he took during the presidential race were something that I cannot agree in any way. And actually, of course, I talked with him and he explained his reasons, and I understood why he did or why he's doing what he's doing, but I don't agree with it, and that's why I decided to shift my support to Laporta at the beginning of February. I was quite clear on that, and the thing that swung this whole thing for me to actually support Laporta openly was the fact that Victor supported the elections to be delayed, and with the club in complete chaos. Man, you simply cannot do that. You have to prioritize the Barcelona's future rather than your own campaign, even if there's less members voting, as he was worried about. And it's a fair argument by him, but even though I think that it's come to a point where Barcelona has to be prioritized, even if even I think that we all have to set aside our differences and work for the club's future. And of course, saying this is completely ideal. We are not in a utopia, so I'm not expecting people to do that, but it's honestly what I think, and we have to really prioritize it. And that's why Laporta today, he actually went out and said that Bartomeu getting arrested was bad for Barcelona, and that he is innocent until proven guilty. And after hearing this, I saw many people worried on social media that he might be on their side or anything like that, and it's not true, because Laporta knows he will become the next president, and he's already worried about the club. The damage that the club has suffered over the years because of Bartomeu and José has been massively. The Barcelona's image throughout the world has really suffered. I saw today, I think it was an AP, Associated Press News, or Spectator Index, where you had in capital letters Barcelona CEO arrested. And man, this kind of thing is really bad for Barca, because the club is losing all of its credibility. People don't respect the club anymore, and Laporta is thinking about the institutional side of things. He has to recover Barcelona's standing among the football world, and a former president actually getting arrested is bad for the club. Of course it is. And he made a really good point, and I think it was very nice of him, because it was easy for him to go out and said, okay, great that Bartomeu was arrested, but you simply don't do that if you're a politician with actual experience. And it's something that I noticed between Laporta and Font too, that Laporta has a lot of experience as a politician running for Barcelona, taking care of the club, and Font does it. He's going to learn. Maybe Font will become the president in the future, but we are going to have Laporta for the next 6 years, and I'm really thrilled for it. Well, aside from this, the big problem for the next 6 years, sorry guys, I have to say this now, I don't want to be always the guy that always has something else to say that is not good, but the biggest enemies for the next 6 years are or parts of the Catalan media, because these people had a lot of benefits under José and Bartomeu, and Laporta might take them back. These people aren't allied with Laporta, so we are going to have a lot of bad information, a lot of false information circulating about Laporta. We already saw this weekend the ridiculous rumors that Laporta wanted Arteta, and I don't have anything against Arteta, I think that he did a wonderful job uh, as Guardiola's assistant at Manchester City. He was incredible, and he actually played a big role in all of the Manchester City won during Pep's time there, at least until he left, of course. And he's doing actually a decent job at Arsenal. Arsenal is a mess, but he's actually doing what he can, and maybe he could really become a great Barcelona coach in the future. But the point is, the media actually leaked this because for the average Barcelona member in Spain, reading about Arteta, you think about Arsenal, and Arsenal have been an embarrassment for the past few years. And of course, I don't have anything against Arsenal, just making this clear. But Arsenal have been really bad, and people are going to think, unfortunately, very shallowly, that Arteta is one of the reasons, and he really isn't. So just watch out for the media. Take everything that the media says about Laporta with a grain of salt. You have the great people, the great journalists in Catalonia too. You have Xavi Campos, you have Xavi Torres, and uh, you have many others too. I might even make a list in the future, but there are great journalists in Catalonia. But you just have to learn to separate the good from the bad. So be patient, guys. Just keep an eye out, and let's look forward to the future. And of course, I want to talk a little bit about the rumors too, because we have seen part of Laporta's team. Jordi Cruyff is likely going to be part of it. Victor Valdez is confirmed. Puyol is likely to be part of it too. So yeah, it's a really stacked team. But the thing that I want to talk first and foremost is about the possibility of Ralf Rangnick becoming some kind of general manager for Barcelona. And for those that don't know, Ralf Rangnick is basically one of the, if not the greatest mind in German football in the past 30 years, I would say. He is an ideologue like Cruyff. He has his ideas about football, and of course it's different from Cruyff's, but he is absolutely fantastic. He caused a revolution at Leipzig and Red Bull Salzburg too, and his disciples like Marco Rose, you could say that Rangnick was a big influence for Jurgen Klopp's career too. Thomas Tuchel was a big inspiration. He cited Rangnick as a big inspiration too. So this guy, if he actually was one of the main responsible in rebuilding Barcelona, I would be absolutely ecstatic and really excited. The guy is fantastic, and we, of course, there have been also rumors that Julian Nagelsmann is one of the favorites to become Barcelona coach. And let me be honest, if there's the one ideal appointment here for the Barcelona job, I think it's Nagelsmann, because he's fantastic working with youth players. He's one of the He is the highest rated young coach in the world. He's very tactically flexible. He's the kind of coach that makes the players better just by being there. Nagelsmann is basically he's a young coach, but he's already a genius, and he would have my full support if he was to become Barcelona coach. And I want to talk about a little bit too, because a little bit about Nagelsmann in the regard that he actually refused to go to Real Madrid after Zidane left. And he refused because he didn't think that he was ready. And this was really interesting. You can see that the guy is mature, he's patient, and he has all of the qualities needed to be a success wherever he goes. And yes, the language barrier would be an issue, but I would say that learning Spanish isn't that big of a hurdle for Nagelsmann. And let us recall that Guardiola went to Germany. He was a success there. Why can't Nagelsmann come to Spain, to Catalonia, to coach Barca and be a success? And honestly, I would rather have Nagelsmann coaching Barcelona than Real Madrid. That's for sure. And to cap things off, I want to talk a little bit about the recent Barcelona performances. So yeah, Koeman really, really got it right against Sevilla. It was incredible. It wasn't an incredible performance, but it was a solid, reliable, and convincing performance. He got his tactics spot on, playing with three at the back. He pinned back the Sevilla's fullbacks, and he simply got everything right. It was the first big game where he did it, and I am against Koeman. You know that I want him out, but I have to give him credit wherever he does something right. Otherwise, what is the point? You have to be fair with criticism. Otherwise, you're only complaining, right? And of course, I have a little worry that maybe Koeman might win the cup or win the league, and because of that, Laporta would keep him. But I would say that it's a small chance because we know that Koeman isn't that good, and imagine the people close to Barcelona, closer to Laporta, they know too. So let us just hope for the best this season, because next season is where things really start to improve, uh, and I can't really look enough forward to this. I'm really excited. And of course, I want to leave a few more words to the Barcelona youngsters. Ansu Fati, every time he was playing, he was incredible. I really cannot wait for Ansu to return. It's a shame that he had to be operated again on his knee, but we have to be patient. We have to trust Dr. Kugat too. It's he's a young player. He's going to get back at his best, and we have to really be careful with his health. So I'm not worried about it. Pedri and Araujo have been incredible too. I take hats off to these guys. They are the two players alongside Ansu that I think might be 10 years from now at Barcelona being fantastic, because the maturity that these guys have displayed on pitch, simply amazing, and I really, really like what I see. It's exciting to see them up on pitch performing consistently well, stepping up, and these guys are the future. We have seen Ilaix Moriba playing too. He just made two cameos by now, but he has really played well, and he might play against Sevilla for the second leg of the Spanish Cup semifinals too. The guy, he is one of the highest rated La Masia players in the past 10 years, and the club actually made a financial effort to keep him. He was going to leave because the other clubs were really offering a lot of money, and the Barcelona hierarchy simply decided, okay, we have to pay this guy above what we usually pay at La Masia to keep him. And yes, it was the right choice. We have to fight to keep the La Masia players that we believe. And I really don't like that saying, okay, if the players want to leave, just let them. But imagine you are in the place of an 18-year-old or even younger. You have your whole life ahead of you. Maybe you're poor, and you don't have many, and your family doesn't have that much of perspective to earn a lot of money, and you are a young player. You can actually save your family. So sometimes you have to make a difficult choice to move to other country to have more money to pay to actually help your family. So let us never forget that. Is really important too. And that's what you're getting from me today, guys. I wanted to record this at all costs. I didn't want to make it too long, and I'll be back here next week recording again, hopefully on Sunday rather than Monday. Take care, my friends, and see you on social media.